Since the beginning of the Russian war over there in Ukraine, Pope Francis had said that he wanted to take a trip to the capital of Ukraine to try to broker a ceasefire. But now he says he would rather go to Moscow to try to talk some sense into Vladimir Putin, who he has not outwardly condemned in the now nearly 3-month-old war, and only did so lightly in a lengthy interview with an Italian newspaper. He said he feels that before going to Ukraine, he must stop at Moscow first. He told Corriere della Sera in an interview he would not exactly be there to condemn Vladimir Putin based on what he told the newspaper. He said that the real scandal of Putin's war is NATO barking at Russia's door, which he said caused the Kremlin to react badly and unleash the conflict on Ukraine. He has said to a general audience and in other interviews that the war is nothing more than a giant opportunity for a trade in arms, and that it is still ongoing because of the constant shuttling of weapons to Ukraine. He has spoken twice by phone to Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, but mostly to urge him not to fight back. He also went to the Russian embassy to the Holy See days after the invasion began to register his concerns about what was happening. He said, "I don't know how to answer. I'm too far away. The question of whether it is right to supply the Ukrainians," he told the newspaper, "the clear thing is that weapons are being tested there. The Russians now know that tanks are of little use and are thinking of other things. This is why wars are waged, to test the weapons we have produced. Few people are fighting this trade, but more should be done." So basically, Pope Francis is saying this whole thing was a setup with NATO, basically trying to press Vladimir Putin. And you definitely have to think about it. When we go back in times when you have France, England, all those older movies, which I definitely encourage you to go watch them, like the Medicis and different movies like that, and the ones about France and England going to war with Queen Elizabeth and all of them. And all of them, they've always wanted the Pope's blessings before war, and a lot of those popes actually stopped a lot of wars because they were the go-to. And still to this day, think about it. If he's the go-to, he's the one that can stop the wars, because the Pope is supposedly the God on earth. So he can make it all stop, or he can give his blessings to go to war, right? But he's not trying to stop this thing in Ukraine. He's saying, hey, this thing started because of NATO pressing Russia and Vladimir Putin. And he's also telling the Ukrainian president, no, you need to just stop fighting back, stand down, and let this thing take its course. So that's why it's very tricky when we're listening to the media talk about this thing and people saying like, oh, Russia is pressing them. They're just trying to create a genocide against the Ukrainians. No, this thing is deeper than we know. And that's why I basically really don't speak on it. But when I saw this, I had to bring it to you guys to let you know, dang, look at what the Pope is saying. The Pope is saying that NATO and them is using this thing to sell weapons and also to test weapons. So do we take the Pope's word for it? Which he's supposed to be the vicar or whatnot, the God on earth? And we know back in times that the popes held the power, and they still hold the power. All countries go to the Pope for blessings before they go to war. I don't know how much they do it nowadays, but that was a known fact that they go and get their blessings from the Pope. So the Pope can either give you the green light or say it's a no-go. So with that, family, we have to start reading these kind of articles before we start pointing the finger and making our opinions. And me, I'm not even making an opinion. I'm just telling you what I read. So we have to see what the Pope is saying when it comes to any type of wars that's going on. This war has been going on for 3 months. And the Pope, this is all he has to say about it, is basically that this thing is a setup. And it's NATO that started this thing by messing with Vladimir Putin. Just keep an eye on the Pope and try to listen to the things he's saying, and we can figure out, is Putin such a villain or is it something else? And with that, I'm going to say this is the news in you. North, east, west, south, unite from every alley in Cali, intersection and back street. Subscribe to the channel and hit the thumbs up on your way out the door.